Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's such a wonderful bunch here. They just want to keep on loving up on each other, and we got to get everybody in their seats. Because my name is Celeste, and it is my pleasure to welcome you here to the Centers for Spiritual Living Minneapolis on this beautiful day. Okay, it's already cold, even though it was 95 last week. So, as I said, it's my pleasure to welcome you here to Centers for Spiritual Living Minneapolis. Here at the center, I'm gonna ask that the party breaks up over there. Okay. I'd like to start off now with our statement of truth. The reason that we gather every Sunday to remember who we really are. And here at this center, we have our statement of truth for this center is, there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and you can consciously use it. And our mission is to teach, demonstrate, and inspire a positive spiritual approach to living. So with that, I'd like to introduce our musicians for today with our opening song, and that's Katya and Carl.
Blue skies smiling at me. No, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song. No, nothing but bluebirds from now on. I never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurrying by when you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. No, nothing but blue skies from now on. Oh, blue skies, smiling at me. No, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing a song. Nothing but bluebirds from above now on. I never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going oh so right. Noticing the days hurrying by when you're in love, my how they fly. Blue days, all of them gone. No, nothing but blue skies from now on. No, nothing but blue skies from now on. No, nothing but blue skies from now on.
A little more love for Katya and Carl. And now, I'd like to start us off with a prayer. So if you'll settle into that space and drop down deep where we already know the truth, where we already know there is just one life, one power, one presence, and it's everywhere present. It created everything, so I absolutely know it created me, and it created each of you. It is as and through each of us, always, without fail or falter. So it is from this deep place of knowing that I recognize the blessing of our time together today. It is unique and wonderful and never can be duplicated. It is this moment we lean into, where we recognize the blessing of this space that we gather, the technology that brings us together, the practitioners that support each of us in every moment, always. And I absolutely recognize the blessing that is our co-founders, Reverend Joanne and Reverend Debbie, who show up, suit up, and tell the truth to help us remember who we really are. That's why we gather. So, I know everything today unfolds perfectly, and that we are divinely guided and divinely inspired. So all I need to do is say, thank you, God, because it's already perfect. So I will let this little prayer be and say, and so it is. All right, and now it's time for our group reading. Do we have it? Yay! Please say with me our group reading, and that is, I am ready to deepen my conviction in the power and presence for good. I am ready to apply it in my daily life. I am ready to receive God's highest blessings. I am ready to live from a higher level of beingness. I am ready to be a transformative light in the world. All right. And now, here at Centers for Spiritual Living Minneapolis and other centers around the world, we honor all roads that lead to God. So it's time now for us to light what we call our flames of faith. So I would like to invite Angela to come up. And as I said, we want to acknowledge all people in all faiths. We want to acknowledge that all people come from faith, come from one great universal presence, a divine intelligence which many call God. We honor the unifying nature of our oneness of thought and experience as we light the flames of faith. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony, equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. Right on. And now I ask all of you, let us light the candle within for all forms of new thought, honoring the mystical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. All right. And now, yay, we have another song. Please give a warm welcome again for Katya and Carl.
The autumn leaves drift by my window. The autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, those summer kisses, the sunburned head. sunburned hands that I used to hold. Since you went away, my days grow long, and soon I'll hear old winter song. Still I'll miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. Still I'll miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall. Still I'll miss you most of all, my darling, when autumn leaves start to fall.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Okay, so in my rush to hear Katya and Carl, I neglected to invite Sue Hooper to come up here and give us our inspirational reading for the day. A little warm-up act for the Rev.
Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. So thank you both. Thank you. Better late than never. This is a poem, a writing by a very famous author named Unknown. So anybody could take credit for it. But let's take it into our hearts. It's called Be Thankful. Be thankful that you don't already have everything you desire. If you did, what would there be to look forward to? Be thankful when you don't know something, for it gives you the opportunity to learn. Be thankful for the difficult times. During those times, you grow. Be thankful for your limitations, because they give you opportunities for improvement. Be thankful for each new challenge, because it will build your strength and character. Be thankful for your mistakes. They will teach you valuable lessons. Be thankful when you're tired and weary, because it means you've made a difference. It's easy to be thankful for the good things. A life of rich fulfillment comes to those who are also thankful for the setbacks. Gratitude can turn a negative into a positive. Find a way to be thankful for your troubles, and they can become your blessings.
Thank you, Sue. Oh, now it is my great pleasure to introduce our speaker for the day, Reverend Debbie.
Good morning, all. Good morning. Okay, so a cowboy goes into a bar in Gallup, New Mexico, and he orders 3 mugs of beer. He sits in the back room, and he starts drinking 1 sip out of each of the 3 glasses. The 3 mugs are now empty. He goes to the bartender, and he orders 3 more mugs of beer. He comes in every evening, orders 3 beers, sits in the back room, drinks them 1 sip out of each glass a time. And so the bartender, he starts to get curious, and he says one day to the cowboy, he's like, beer goes flat pretty quickly. Well, if you just want to order 3 beers, I'll bring them back to you one at a time. He's like, no, my brother and I made an agreement when I left. And so we drink with each other every night. So I take 1 sip for me, 1 for my brother in Flagstaff, and 1 for my brother in Farmington. And that's how we do it. And he's like, that's just a really cool tradition. Gives him his 3 beers, and off he goes to the back room. So one time, the cowboy comes in on a Monday, and he orders 2 beers. Goes to the back room. And so he comes up to the bar to order the second round of beers, and he orders 2 beers. And the bartender says, I don't want to intrude on you at all, but I do want to give you my condolences. He's like, look, he's got this puzzled look on his face. He's like, oh no, my brothers are fine. My wife made me become a Baptist yesterday. I had to quit drinking, but my brothers, they're still good. So, today we were going to talk about love thy neighbor. But here's the thing. I realized we're all neighbors, right? We are. We're all neighbors. We're all one. We're all unique, individualized expressions of that one. And we are all neighbors. So we should just love everybody. But there's also communities that we're part of. We're part of this loving community. We're part of a loving community of family. We've got friends. We've got our tribes, right? We've got our people. And the one thing I know is that if it's all based in love, there are some people that we just love a little better, right? I don't know why. But they tend to resonate with us. It's those people, it's like we want company and we want companionship. But we want company and companionship with our people. Those people that we resonate with. Those people whom we share values and interests. Those people that we can be like our authentic, raw selves around without worrying about it. Where we can share our joys, but also share our sorrows with equal love and respect. A community where not only are we loved and honored, but we have the opportunity to love and honor each other. We crave a community where there's hopes and there's dreams that are being empowered because people want to see us make good on those hopes and dreams. A community where we have the opportunity to be supported and empowered and celebrate with others. Just to celebrate. So, do we have communities like that? I mean, if we don't, this is one, right? And it's time for us to start our own tribes, to create those types of communities here and beyond. And it's always an inside job. It starts with each of us being willing to be authentic and to be vulnerable and to empower others, right? To not just be me-focused, but to be focusing on saying yes to other people. We're going to do, after fellowship today, we're going to do a quick little extra shot, and part of that's going to be a guided visualization about that kind of a community, right? Where we just get to say yes to all of it. So there's that familiar Bible phrase from Matthew, wherever 2 or more are gathered in my name, I am there amongst them, right? Gathered in my name. It means gathered in my nature. And what was Jesus' nature but love? I'm not talking wear it on your sleeve love, right? I'm talking that love that you felt when you came into this room, right? It is that love, you're going to take a little bit of that with you when you leave, but you're going to leave a little bit of it here. And the seniors that meet here on Monday morning, they're going to come in and they're going to feel that love. Because you always take a little with you and you leave a little behind. And why do we love it when we gather in Jesus' nature, in that nature of love? Well, because it allows us to consciously bring out the I am. The I am that I am. It allows us to consciously suit up and show up in our real divine nature of love. And to share that love. And to ask to receive more of it. Because there are times when we are full of joy. There are times when we are full of fear. There are times when we suit up and show up here after crying ourselves to sleep at night. Because it's all perfect, which doesn't mean it always feels perfect, as Sue shared. There's blessings and there's gifts even in the pain and the sorrow and the hurt. And sometimes when we share with others our pain and our sorrow and our hurt, not only do we get to feel a little better, but they get the blessing. They get the blessing of honoring that about us. Because if you're going to honor someone, you need to honor all of them. Not just the cheerful one, right? But also the one that's hurting. And we do that through love, because love lightens every single load. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, wrote, "Love is the only final security in the universe. Love is the greatest healing power in the universe, and it is the only thing that binds people together in a community of spirit." Dennis Merritt Jones, a retired minister in religious science, wrote, "I believe there is something within each of us that is aching for authentic spiritual connection, to actually know what God's presence feels like. Spiritual community is where this happens. Why? Because it creates an environment where everyone feels commonly and equally embraced by the loving presence of God. It magnifies the experience. Each one actually becomes the reflector of the other, magnifying God's magnificence and love." That's why we gather here. We gather here from that place of not just love thy neighbor, but love thyself. And honor thyself. And love and honor all others. And this is the perfect place to try it out. Because I like to talk about this community as based in love, but crowned in grace. In pure grace. So, when we look at our tribes, when we look at our communities that we're part of, our whatever you want to call your little group or your large group, you suit up and show up as being spiritually driven. And I know that because you're here today. Because of you're aware of your spiritual magnificence. The I am that I am. And have you noticed that in those groups, in those tribes, you have a feeling of comfort, that people tend to gravitate towards you a little bit? It's that spiritual essence that you're calling forth in others, because you've courted it yourself with your spiritual practice. And that is how we change the world. We change the world with having a spiritual practice that allows us to not only court, but recognize and honor that wonderful intelligence within us, that wonderful spiritual light. And when we do that and we take it out into the world, especially out into our communities, we raise it all up. We just raise the vibration in a room up. What a blessing that is for us to be able to do. So, this morning, I'd like to share with you the lessons that we can learn from geese. That was in Chicken Soup for the Soul, the second helping. And I invite you to look at how you're showing up in your tribe and in your community based on these lessons, okay? So we all know that geese fly in a V shape, right? And we've started to see that here in Minnesota. Sorry as I am to say it. But they fly in a V shape. So science has discovered that each bird flaps its wings from the V formation, and it creates an uplift for the bird behind it. And let's see here. There's a percentage here. The whole flock adds at least 71% greater flying range than if they flew on their own. 71%. That's like a big number, especially if you got to go all the way south. So, our lesson. People who share a common direction, a sense of community, can get where they are going more quickly and easily because they're traveling on the thrust of others. So, where are you flying solo? Where are you flying solo? Where is your ego sort of edging God out? Because it can be very exhausting doing it alone. And you don't get near as far as fast. If you are flying solo, now's a good time to ask, why? What is preventing you from fully participating? Lesson number 2. When a goose falls out of formation, it suddenly feels the drag and the resistance of flying alone. And it moves quickly back into formation to take advantage of the uplift. So, if we had the sense of a goose, we would stay in formation with those ahead of us, with those people who are where we want to go, right? We hang out with people who are going where we want to go, who have already gone where we want to go. And we become willing to accept their help as we help others along the way, because there's a common direction. So again, are you showing up in your tribe, in your community, fully participating? Willing to stay on that path in formation, so to speak? Are you willing? Are you willing to suit up and show up, even when you don't really feel like suiting up and showing up? Lesson number 3. When a goose gets tired, it rotates itself in the back. It moves back to the back of the V and lets another goose fly point. Our lesson, it's sensible to take turns doing demanding jobs. It's also important to let other people do what other people can do. When you show up, are you balanced in your giving and in your receiving? Because balance is important. Because if you're always giving, at some point, there's not only burnout, but there's also resentment that shows up. And why waste our energy on resentment? I shared earlier in the month, a genuine no is so much more important and loving than a dishonest yes. Are you giving anyone a dishonest yes? Because you're not doing yourself or them any favors. Everyone's got skills. Everyone's got talent. Who are we to think we can do it better than anybody else? And then on the other hand, are there places where you just suit up and show up to receive? You're just taking the love in, taking the support in, but not willing to give any of it back. That's just as hard. Okay, lesson number 4. Geese honk from behind to encourage those up front to keep moving. So, do you honk words of encouragement wherever you go to support those people that you're in community with? To support what they do? And do we do it with enthusiasm? Enthos. God within. Are we doing it from that place of our spiritual magnificence, truly meaning those wonderful things that we're saying, those words of support? Do we appreciate and acknowledge people before they even ask for it, before they start even looking for it? I would take a moment and enthusiastically welcome all of you here. Because without all of you, none of us would be feeling the amount of love we're feeling right now. The amount of lightness is all because we're here together in our divine essence. Okay, lesson number 5. Final lesson. When a goose gets sick or wounded, it falls out of formation, and 2 other geese follow it down. And they stay with that fallen goose until it's either ready to fly again or until it dies. And only then do they launch out on their own, either starting their own formation or join another formation. Our lesson. If we have the sense of a goose, we will stand by each other just like that. This is a trying time for a lot of people. And I really want to acknowledge that because we're coming into the holiday season, believe it or not, which is yet another trying time. And trust me, the news is going to continue to be troubling and burdensome. But none of us need to go through anything alone. We truly don't. This center has an incredible staff of prayer practitioners. Always, always, always available. I'm sure you have others in your world who are always available. But have you reached out to talk to them? Because a lot of times, I know for me, it's hard to reach out for encouragement, for support. So, if you don't have a tribe, even if it's a tribe of 2 that you can count on, reach out to one of our practitioners. Because it doesn't have to be a dire crisis for one to need some encouragement, to get some prayer support. You don't have to be on your last leg, as they say. So, who knew geese were so wise, huh? And let us not forget the most important blessing of all, and that's the blessing that we can always commune with Source. That higher power, that higher mind that is not out there, it is in here. When was the last time you had a really honest conversation with yourself in front of a mirror? Try it. It's really kind of amazing. Because those loving eyes looking back at you, those are the eyes of God. Think about it. Spirit is closer than our breath, more accessible than our cell phone. We just have to take a conscious breath, tap in, check in, and know how divine and how loving we are. So amazing that other people see it in us and we don't see it in us sometimes. But Spirit is right there, ready to say, yes, my beloved. Just let go and give me the space I need to do your heavy lifting. In the Bible, it says something to the effect of, your words are not my words. Your actions are not my actions. My burden is light. And I will take care of you better than I take care of the lilies of the field. And all we have to do is have the common sense of a goose. That's it. So your assignment this week. If you're flying solo, stop it. Let others in. Check your ego. Honk as much as you can, including at yourself. And look at the mirror, in the mirror, and just see those loving eyes saying, yes, my beloved. And so it is.
Okay, I was going to honk, but I won't. Thank you, Reverend Debbie. That talk was beautiful. And now another song from Katja and Carl.
This is an original song that I wrote that, I don't know, I feel like resonates a bit with some of that message, so I hope you guys can find some meaning in that as well. Trying to get home, but no matter where I go, I'm always searching for it, yeah. Searching for someplace, somewhere, someone to call my own. And I know I'll never get there, yeah. You ask me where I'm from, I've got no place to run. Though you may think I'm free, nobody's missing me. It was not made clear to me what the perfect home could be with a broken family. Well, it's gotta start with me. And now I'm running, 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 running on my own. Don't you know I'm just running, 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 running on my own. Don't you know? Now I'm calming down, settling in, but I already know that I'll never win. No, I'll just end up on my own again. I'm anticipating, wishing, making it so much harder than it has to be. Can I just breathe a minute? This constant drive to be what you expect of me, when you'll just see right through what I present to you and tell me to get out, go home. We don't want you here. You're on your own, my dear. Now I'm running, 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 running on my own. Don't you know I'm just running, 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 running on my own. Don't you know I'm just running, running, running.
That was wonderful. A little more love.
So much.
Yeah, wow. It's time now for our conscious giving. It's where we sit down and we recognize that we are being spiritually fed. So we give from that place of love, from that place of abundance, where we know there is more good on its way to us always. So when I preside, I like to say this little prayer. So if you'll hold your gift, and I know some of you give online, so I give online, so I hold it close to my heart. And I say, this gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I know I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving, as I now share my good with life, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Okay, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. Thank you for that gift. Let me start there. Thank you for that gift. As a matter of fact, we have a gift for you. And as Reverend Debbie described, practitioners are always here for you to help you remember who you really are. So I invite you, if you'd like to have some prayer, there are practitioners available today. Reverend Debbie, Reverend Joanne, I see Sue, this is like romper stomper. I see Sue, I see Colleen, I see Joan, I see another Colleen, I see Dee Ray, I see Jeff all the way in the back, who does great prayers, by the way. I mean, they all do, but I want to give a shout out to Jeff really quick. He does great prayers. So please, talk to us. Always ready, always open, always happy to help you remember who you really are. You know, actually, I've been teaching a lot lately that it's my job to keep myself awake. It's God's job to wake everybody else up. So we practitioners are here to help you remember to stay awake. All right, with that, there's a bunch of stuff coming up. So I'd like to invite Reverend Debbie to come up and do the announcements, and then I'll pray us out. Reverend Joanne will bless us out, and then we'll have a song. So here's some announcements.
All right. A couple of things. David Alton team are leading a day-and-a-half consciousness Zoom workshop. It's going to have music. It's going to have some lecture. It's going to have some breakout sessions. It's $49. There's flyers. It is the last Friday and night and Saturday of this month. So there's that going on. We are starting, Sue Hooper and I are going to be leading a class on abundance consciousness. And that's via Zoom. We would love to have you join us. If we don't have anybody that will be far away, we'll try to do a couple of meetings in person as well. It's based on the book by Mae McCarthy. And it's a pretty simple little exercise that you do in the morning and in the evening. And we're going to have a Facebook group to kind of support each other on it. And we're just going to bring a lot more joy and love and money into our world. That's what we're going to do. So there's that. It starts on Tuesday at 7:30. And then after, oh yeah, sign up online. Sorry, thanks, Jeff. You can sign up online for all of this. You can donate online, and you can also do a prayer request online. So check out our website. And then Sue and I are going to do a little visualization after the service in a short little fellowship break. And if we would love to have you stay if you can, but if you can't, totally understand it. Invite you to take the handout. There's 2 pages. It gives you a little bit of an overview, some quotes, and a process for you to follow for visualization. Using one's imagination and really, truly seeing our good. It makes it all happen so much faster. So that's what it's all about. And we are going to be posting online upcoming classes to get an idea of the amount of interest in these classes, starting in January with a foundations class, and also with an online class based on the power of decision. So once we get those posted, which should be this week, I would love to invite everyone to get to the website and just sort of sign up without paying any money, just so we know the interest that you've got for the right time of it all. One final, Fancy Ray, the comedian Fancy Ray, comes here often. He's got a comedy gig going on this Saturday night, and there's little flyers for him on there. If you've never seen him, I've never seen him, but this could be a good opportunity to go do it. And then last but not least, we're in Golden Valley, but right next door is Plymouth, and there is a labyrinth there in the Memorial Gardens. And so, weather permitting, we would like to do a labyrinth walk in October. And details will follow. And the idea is it's probably 10 minutes from here, and it's beautiful. And I would love an opportunity to just get centered and quiet with all of you and then walk the labyrinth just to see what all comes out of it. So anyway, more details on that to follow. We need to check out the weather a little bit to figure out. I'm thinking the second Sunday, but we need to do a little weather check. Not that it's that accurate, but we're going to try. And that's all we've got for announcements. Oh, and I want to thank Reverend Joanne for a birthday cake. What a surprise. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So please stay for cake and coffee, and know that the same muffins will be served next Sunday. But they'll be frozen, so... Or fresh. Frozen fresh. Fresh frozen. Whatever. Anyway, that's it.
Thank you, Reverend Debbie. All right. Oh, that felt good. Settle, do that with me. A really big, deep breath. As we close out this day. And settle into that seat one more time for me. Dropping down into that space, as I said, where we already know the truth. That one life, that one power, that one presence. How good it is to know that everything unfolded perfectly today. How good it is to know that none of us are ever alone. How good it is to know that we are loved and supported. How good it is to know that God says yes to us. How good it is to know that all we need do is be who we really are. Show up as that love and that light for ourselves and for others. How good it is to know that we are divinely guided and divinely inspired at all times. How good it is to know that God indeed says yes. Let us show up as who we really are. That love, that light, that joy, It's already within us. All we need to do is be. And be there for each other. For in all and all we know we are one. I give thanks for this knowing. I give thanks for this time. I give thanks for this fellowship, this opportunity to show my devotion, our devotion to each other. So I say, thank you, God. I let this little prayer be. And I say, and so it is. Reverend Joanne, would you come up and give us a blessing?
Thank you. I was supposed to bring a little postcard that Karen Nestingen gave me. She's going to be part of an art crawl. I think it's the same weekend that Fancy Ray is having his gig. I believe it's the 23rd and 24th of this month. So she paints all these pictures, and you can go through her house and see all her art. You can buy her art, and then apparently you crawl to another house. I'm not sure how it works. So anyway, just know that's coming up as well. So I'd like to leave you with a blessing. May you be at peace. May you know the beauty of your own true nature. May your heart be open. May you be healed. May you be blessed. Namaste.
And now our closing song from Katya and Carl. And once we're done, I hope you'll join us for some refreshments, for some cake and some muffin. And indeed, if you can, stay around for that visioning exercise. Right on.
I wish you bluebirds in the spring to give your heart a song to sing, and then a kiss. But more than this, I wish you love. And in July, a lemonade to cool you in some leafy glade. I wish you health, but more than wealth, I wish you love. My breaking heart and I agree that you and I could never be. So with my best, my very best, I set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. And most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love. Oh, I wish you bluebirds in the spring to give your heart a song to sing, and then a kiss. But more than this, I wish you love. And in July, a lemonade to cool you in some leafy glade. I wish you health, but more than wealth, I wish you love. My breaking heart and I agree that you and I will never be. So with my best, my very best, I set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall. But most of all, when snowflakes fall. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love. Thank you so much.